that's an illegitimate solution because they're the ones that created the crisis. However, they did that. They were, in one way or another, it was a setup. It was an inside job. The thing with the McCarran Airport in Boston, you can look it up. It's on the forums. It's about, do you want to live in a police state? I mean, or don't you? I mean, do you want to do something to try? Do you want to try and do something to stop yourself from living in a police state? Yeah, the economy. They're looting all these trillions of dollars. Okay, as it is, and they need the police state on a global scale because they don't want people to be able to do what they've done in Iceland, and Greece, and France. They don't want the roots of that to be a force to be reckoned with. The New World Order is afraid of you, because you're intelligent, okay, and you have discernment. You can understand when you're presented with information that you may not have run across on your own, and you research it for yourself, and you don't listen to me. I don't want you to even listen to what I'm telling you. All I ask is that take it upon yourself to look at the statements of their own documents. I revealed a few days ago that the government put out an official document that I linked to, where they flat out say that they expect at least 500,000 people to die and 2 million to be hospitalized from a future flu outbreak. And they even had the audacity and the gall to even refer to dangerous enemies in the midst of such a crisis. Who are they talking about? They're talking about us. They're setting up these flu vaccine plants and so forth, and they're preparing all these vaccines, and they don't care. They don't care if you're not taking them, because as far as they're concerned, you're not allowed to say no. The hell we're not. The hell we're not. They've been exposed somewhat, on that front. It's everybody knows what's going on. A lot of people that do, and if you want to help, I mean, everybody should let everybody know about the vaccines. Okay, all vaccines are poisonous. I'm not going to get into a sidetrack thing here, but it's just they're attacking every single front, and you have to keep in mind they're using their software, they're using their computer systems to help guide them. They basically run everything for them, more or less. It's not to say they don't have meetings and so forth and talk about things, but their systems do a lot of their work, okay? I'm going to get back into the article here. Quote, by all accounts, okay, I already read that. There's a book that Beckstrom wrote, okay, called Starfish and the Spider, The Unstoppable Power of Leaderless Organizations. A book Beckstrom co-authored with Ori Brofman in 2006. The authors used the two creatures to illustrate their argument that decentralized organizations, whether in the marketplace or the battlefield, are more nimble, creative, and resilient than those that operate in a rigid top-down fashion. And my comment to that was, they don't want true resiliency, they want total destruction of the internet, power grid, and civilian communications infrastructure to have a seemingly ironclad to roll TV6, as the criminal traitor John Osterholz himself stated in 2003. Following this analogy, user-driven starfish-like organizations distribute decision-making among all members. If parts of the organization are crushed, the whole survives and recovers, just as a starfish regenerates an arm if it is severed. In contrast, the book posits industry and government are more akin to quote-unquote spider organizations that function within a centralized structure with the leader calling the shots. One solid blow to the head cripples or kills a spider. And my comment to that was, and that is exactly what they want. The head of the spider represents the interests of the constitutional republic of the United States and the will of the American people, and they want it crushed. And I say, F you. Whether we're looking at a Fortune 500 company, an army, or a community, or our natural reaction is to ask who is in charge. Beckstrom and Brafman wrote, quote, the absence of structure, leadership, and formal organization, once considered a weakness, has become a major asset. Seemingly chaotic groups have challenged and defeated established institutions. The rules of the game have changed. Quote, I think it is an unconventional choice, and that's a good thing, Cressy said of the Beckstrom pick. And my comment was, I sense your apprehension, Mr. Cressy, which was solidified when you realized later that he wouldn't play along with your criminal NCOIC, Booz Allen Hamilton, privatized black ops pieces of trash, right, Mr. Cressy? You see, compartmentalization in government facilitates total abject criminality and perpetuates unaccountable actions by the superiors who enforce that compartmentalization. Okay, they keep they fraudulently talk about, oh, how they're interested in transparency in government, and we're like, Obama gives you a website, you can look and see how the money's being spent, and all this kind of insanity. That's completely bull. Okay, it's like, yeah, does it show that, you know, over 14 trillion has been stolen? No. They don't want transparency, because if there was true transparency, they would have to go to jail. It's just that simple. Okay? I mean, it's just decentralization is the answer to all of this stuff. Even the former chief information officer for Northcom from when he was the CIO in 2003, retired General Myrose, he stated that he was interviewed by Wired magazine, where he stated that it is incredibly, highly unlikely that any cyber attack could take out the North American power grid. That was his own words. And not to say that he's a good guy or anything. It's just that, and that statement doesn't necessarily mean anything per se, because they could just do it by sections or whatever anyways. But the point is that article was talking about, the author was talking about how the fact that you don't have total centralization of power plants. That's why they're resilient. Because if somebody wants to sabotage something through computer controls, through software that affects mechanical controls, if they're not all on the same page, well, you can't carry out a massive false flag, can you? No, on that very note, what do you think when Josh was predominantly the one explaining what the implications of the NAS were with 9/11, with the FAA, the National Airspace System? That's what they did. This whole system of what they want to do globally across every sector with the economy, all the computer systems, everything that's run off of computers, which is basically everything today. They did that with 9/11. They made sure that everything was on the New World Order's page so that they could execute their plan the way they wanted, so no one could stop them. That's exactly what they did. They had total control. And the money that they were able to get from expanding